Now, just a final question and a final point. The Premier League now is hot in this sense that Guardiola's at City, and despite the fact that they played some dazzling football, they're not the complete package by a long way, but they may be if they buy and go into the next transfer window and get some defenders. Tottenham definitely have a very good coach, and I would say man for man, they have a very, very good defence with Vertonghen and Alderweireld and Danny Rose. So you could expect Tottenham you could see Tottenham improving. Chelsea are what they are, and Conte has said that he wants more money in the summer and that he wants to spend it rather than Abramovich on players he wants. In that context, Manchester United could be in a bit of bother, and Mourinho may not see this job out for another 12 months, 2 years. That's what I'm suggesting. If you were, John, the god at Manchester United, the man who made all the calls, would you persevere with Mourinho, or would you go looking for a coach?
Well, you couldn't go looking now, Eamon. I mean,
Simeone,
sorry?
Atletico Madrid.
Well, I think he's a great manager.
Yeah.
I would. But from Manchester United's point of view, you'd have to give Mourinho a chance, Eamon. You know, he's only there less than a season.
I know that.
I think a lot depends on. Well, if I was a Manchester United, I wouldn't get rid of him now. If you made the appointment on him last season and you went for him, then you'd have to stick. Sure. I think you'd have to stick with him. You'd have to give him the summer to do what we've been talking about, to get the right players in. As you know, any manager, Eamon, they're only as good as the players that they have in the squad. There's the players that make the club. Guardiola has a job to do. But that's going to depend on what he does in the summer. What Klopp has a big job to do. What is he going to do this summer? Wenger's a big job. It's all about getting the players in. And Guardiola is in the same bracket. He's got to get players in, but you've got to give them time to do it. I would be surprised if they let Mourinho go, even to get Simeone in.
I think and that was a rather clumsy question. I'll rephrase it. Okay. Are you optimistic that Manchester United will, in the next 3 years, win the Premier League and be a serious force in the Champions League?
Yeah, I think they've got a chance, Eamon. I think Mourinho is quirky. I think he's made mistakes getting onto the young players and that. But the jobs that he's done in the past, whether it be Chelsea, but you don't do that if you're bad. If you're a bad manager, no. You know, I think he's got qualities, and hopefully he will put. The main thing is getting the right players in. I think if he does that in the summer, then I certainly wouldn't write him off. Okay,
before I go to Liam for the last word on this question, I think they're doomed. I think that they need too many players. I don't think it's Mourinho's fault. I actually think it's Van Gaal's fault, primarily.
No, that can't agree with that. I mean, Van Gaal's got everybody takes over from somebody, and Van Gaal didn't do a good job.
He bought all this rubbish.
Yeah, but there's plenty of money there for Mourinho to put his own stamp on it. If you sort of say you give him this year, and then it's summer in the summer, then that's his stamp. You can't go and get Van Gaal's stamp in judging a different manager. So you have to give Mourinho a chance to put his stamp on it. And by this time next year, if we're talking in the same way about it, when he has his chance to put a stamp on it, Eamon, then you could say no, he hasn't done it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he improves dramatically after the summer.
All right. Well, his stamp, as far as I'm concerned, so far is Paul Pogba. But I'm not optimistic. I think the Premier League is going to be very exciting for the next few years because you've got all these great coaches in it with loads of money to spend. And I think United are going to struggle and may well find themselves struggling just as badly as Arsenal have in recent times. Liam, would you be optimistic if you were a Manchester United fan about the next 2 to 3 years?
No, I wouldn't be, because we talked earlier on about that relationship between the top director, whether it's director of football, and the manager, and they're as one, and they're going forward together, and they both know what they're doing. It doesn't look like that's the situation now at Old Trafford. I thought Mourinho's kind of behaviour last season when he was at Chelsea, when there was a huge fallout, was really, really bad, and I think he's that kind of guy. If he doesn't get everything falling his own way, he'll kick up a row, and I could see another row coming next season if the team was to start off and not be top of the pile. And it's going to take a lot of work, but with a couple of the right buys, he could do it. But there's a lot of competition for the best players now, Eamon.
Yes, I know.
Manchester City are going to be trying to do things. You know, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich never stand still. They're always trying to buy the top players that are out there. So how it's going to happen at United, I don't know. I think someone like Griezmann would make a lot of difference. He would score goals, whether he was playing with Ibrahimovic up front or Rashford up front. I think he could score goals. Where they're going to find that creative midfield player from, I don't know. So I can see more trouble on the horizon and more rows and more controversy with Mourinho in charge there. I don't think he's the fit for Manchester United.
Okay, I agree with you strongly. That's 2-1, John. Fred, you can't.
Okay, well, time will tell, Eamon. We're all making our own decisions, looking into the future. But as you said, it's a fascinating situation with all these great managers, anyway, Eamon. So
okay.
we'll see in the long term.
Okay, John.
You know, Eamon.
Yeah.
Eamon. You know, Trapattoni used to say to me, "What makes a good manager is good players."
Yeah.
What makes a great manager is great players.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thanks, Liam and John. Talk to you soon, guys, and enjoy the football. And good luck tonight, Liam, at Selhurst Park, which will be hopping. Bye. See you, lads.
Bye, Liam. Bye, Eamon.
Bye, Joe.
See you, John. Thank you very much.